welcome the parents of Peter Bates. Mrs. Wendy Berthelot and Dick Brockett, the parents of Brian Brockett. Miss Marlon Pollard and his sister Lynn Pollard, Scott Pollard's family. Denny and Jerry Brown, the parents of Craig Brown. Mr. Shan Wang, the father of Richard Wang. Tom and Joanne Tranquina, Matt Tranquina's parents. Mr. Doug Allred and Miss Ann Allred, John Allred's parents. And unfortunately, Mr. John Martin's parents were not able to be here this evening. How about a nice hand for John Martin's mother and father? We also like to ask Miss Karen Hutchinson, a big supporter of the Torrey Pines basketball program, to come down and be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a final hand for the parents of the Torrey Pines family this year?
From Torrey Pines High School, welcome to high school basketball. It's Palomar League play. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions, and tonight it's the Falcons of Torrey Pines going up against the Vista Panthers. These two teams met earlier once on the year. The Falcons victorious by a score of 81-79. We'll be back in a moment for the opening tip-off and the starting lineups.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, ready to play basketball here at Torrey Pines High School. We'd like to introduce the starting lineups to you at this time. First for the visiting Panthers from Vista High School. Vista's record is 9-4, 15-9 overall. Their starters at one guard, a 5'10" and sophomore, number 20, Caleb Ashley. Another guard spot, a 6' junior, number 24, Shan Jagger. At the third guard spot, a 6' senior, number 41, Jason Barnes. At one court, a 6'1" senior, number 40, George Ashley. And the other court is a 6' senior, number 44, Nils Michaels. Head coach of the Panthers, Mr. Greg Matthew. And now the 1991 Palomar League champion, Bryan Batson. At one guard, a 5'10" sophomore, number 4, Edie Montalvo. The other guard, a 6' senior, number 22 senior, number 25, Steve Levy. At one court, a A 6'8" senior number 41, Peter Bates. Starting at center, a 6'10" junior number 31, Scott Pollard. Head coach of the Falcons, Mr. John Barrow. Assistant coaches, Bill Bopia, Gary Marshall, Dave Bosch, and Paul Silver.
We're here courtside at Torrey Pines High, about to get underway here in Palomar League play, and having the first possession going left to right on our video dial, and unable to control are the Falcons. The Falcons come into tonight's game with a 22-3 overall record, 13-0 in league play, the champions of the Palomar League. The Vista Panthers waste no time taking the shot from the perimeter, and drilling it from the outside is Shan Jaegers. The Panthers come into tonight's game with a 9-4 record in league play, as the Falcons take it across the timeline. They'll work it inside, and goes inside to the off the glass. Peter Bates. We're all tied up at 2, just underway in the first quarter of play, as Shane takes a shot from the outside, can't get it to fall. Rebounded there nicely by Craig Brown, the accurate shooting guard, as they get it up court to Peter Bates inside the paint, work it back in the perimeter, inside to the big guy, and takes a shot. And Scott Pollard hitting his first shot of the night. The Falcons out in front 4-3. The Falcons are coached by John Farrell in his 7th year, has coached high school ball 14 years overall. His assistants are Bill Bobier, Gary Marshall, and David Bausch. And coaching the Panthers is Greg Lanthier. He's in his 3rd year, and he's assisted by John Eckeroff. So these two teams doing battle earlier in the year. We mentioned in the pregame show, the Falcons coming out with a victory 81-79. So a 2-point margin separating these two teams, thanks to the sharp shooting on the outside by the Vista Panthers. Were able to keep themselves in the ball game as a shot goes up. Rebounded there by Peter Bates. Comes down with it, gives way to Edie Montalvo. He'll control in the backcourt, working against Caleb Ashley. Goes on the right perimeter. That one taken away by Caleb Ashley.
No basket, foul.
So the Falcons come into tonight's game with an average of 72 points per game, and they give up 53 points per game. On the other hand, the Panthers coming into tonight's game averaging 82 points per game and giving up 65 points. Craig Brown working in the backcourt. The pressure defense as the ball goes inside, and posting in at the low post with Scott Pollard. The foul coming before the shot, so will result in a Falcon possession underneath the boards. 6 minutes and 36 seconds left in the opening quarter of play. The Falcons 4 and the Panthers 3. As Bates will inbounds, goes inside to Craig Brown. Brown unable to hold on, will put the ball back in possession of the Panthers as Nils Michaels gives way to Caleb Ashley, and they'll work it up in the backcourt. So both teams in the early going here just trying to get a feel for one another. Both a little bit shaky at this point, a few turnovers for each team. As Edie Montalvo, he's the assist man. He'll work at the point guard position of the Falcons as they go inside to the big guy. The left-handed jumper from the left corner inside the paint falls short, and coming away with it is Nils Michaels. Goes up court, and they work it across the perimeter. Go in the corner to Shane, puts a shot up and gets it to fall. His second three-pointer of the evening for Shane Jagger. Shane comes into tonight's game averaging 19 points per game, is actually shooting 44% from the three-point mark, and the nice pass there inside. That one going from Pollard to Bates. The nice assist by the big guy into Bates. And Shane finding his eye from the outside. Shane Jagger, 3 for 3 actually outside the three-point line. Has his eye tonight. Jagger having attempted 158 threes, was successful on 68 of those. And the shot from deep on the outside by the Panthers brought down by Edie Montalvo. Montalvo goes up to Craig Brown. He'll take it from outside the three as well, and he cans it. 5:18 left in the first period of play. We're all tied up at 9 here. This one going back and forth. This game may very well go right down to the wire, just like the last game. The nice double pump fake. And Jason Barnes can't get away with it. The traveling violation incurs. And the Vista Panthers waste no time going immediately into the full court press as Edie Montalvo gives up to Brown, inside to Pollard, and finally going back to Steve Lemery. And Brown attempting to go on the right side, taking it baseline. Unable to control, will go back in possession of the Panthers. Caleb Ashley working in the backcourt and inside the paint and taking it all the way in, but can't get it to fall is George Ashley. Craig Brown, and the nice pass inside. Steve Lemery off the glass. 4:41 left in the opening period of play here. 11-9, the Falcons out in front of the Panthers, and with the steal is Peter Bates, and he lays it off the glass. 13-9, 4-point lead for the Falcons. And going baseline, and that shot blocked by Peter Bates. Jason Barnes attempting to go baseline. Bates coming up with a nice defensive play, the one-touch, no-look pass going inside to Brown. It goes in the paint to Pollard. And Pollard gets that one taken away by the Panthers. The Panthers forcing 21 turnovers per game. They're effective on that swarming defense. The shot from well outside in the top of the key, three-point range for Nils Michaels. Nils, a 6-foot senior, can get the job done from the outside as well as Stephen Lemery trying to control for the Falcons.
Number 10, Dave Dillon, and number 14, Dave Ingram.
So the Falcons, Peter Bates will handle the throw-in here for the Falcons. They go outside in the backcourt here to Craig Brown, and in the perimeter is Edie Montalvo, and he tries to work it inside into the paint, but a traveling violation will go back in possession of the Panthers. So the Falcons coming into tonight's game with 4 players averaging in double figures, led by the 6'11" junior Scott Pollard, preseason All-American, actually ranked in the top 60 for high school players. Scott averaging 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 block shots per game, helping the Falcons to a productive season. The Falcons with 22 wins on the year. And the pass attempting to go inside there to Dave Dillon. And Dave coming into the lineup for the Panthers, not a starter, as Barnes goes up for the shot. And battling for the rebound is Scott Pollard as they work it up court to John Allred. John takes it from the right side, can't get his shot to fall, attempts to follow it up, and battling underneath is Jason Barnes and John Allred. Allred, obviously the more physical of the 2 players. John, one of the 2-sport athletes here on the Falcons ball team. John, a 6'5" senior, actually going to USC on a football scholarship. So one of the multi-talented players for the Falcons tonight, as Dave Dillon, the 6-foot senior, tries to work it inside to Barnes, who goes on the left perimeter to Shan Jagger. And a blocking violation going against John Allred. So John is an aggressive player and showing just that here in the early going. Not able to control himself as he probably would have liked. Has 2 fouls here in the early going. So Nils Michaels, the 6-foot senior, will take a rest. And everybody looking for a backcourt violation. Vista maintaining possession here as they go to Dillon. And along the right side is Barnes. He drills it from 3-point range. The Panthers go out in front 15-13. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the opening period of play here as Craig Brown works along the right side. They go topside, and that ball taken away momentarily by Jason Barnes, and the Falcons able to come back up with the ball. As Craig Brown works along the right side, goes inside to Pollard. Barnes on the defense, and he'll take it the length of the court, inside the paint, off the glass, falls short, and a foul against the Falcons. So Jason Barnes, the 6-foot junior, coming into tonight's game, averaging just under 19 points per game, will go to the foul line, shooting 2 shots for the Panthers. The Panthers just trying to redeem themselves after coming away with a 2-point loss in the previous game against the Falcons.
At the line shooting 2 shots, number 41, Jason Barnes.
In the first game between these two teams, Jagger had 25 points, and Barnes at the line had 21 points. So Barnes just trying to continue where he left off in the last game. Jason just 6 foot in height, only a junior, but he'll try to bang with the big boys underneath the basket. And Barnes connects on 1 of 2. As Bryan Batson takes it in as they work it across in the press, and Allred with a soft touch off the glass. Shane Jagger takes it baseline, almost blocked there by Pollard, rebounded by John Allred. As John works it up and taking it across the halfway line. That was Richard Wang, the 6-foot senior, having the ball taken away from him. So the Torrey Pines Falcons coming into tonight's game ranked number 1 in San Diego and actually ranked number 2 in the state of California.
One way or the other, ref.
Dave Dillon works on the right perimeter to Kyle Duport. Back to Dillon at the top of the key. Shane Jagger from way out. Rebounded and controlled by Kyle Duport. He'll take it in the right corner as Vista tries to go baseline. Back out to Duport from the right side. Rebounded by Bryan Batson. Steve Lemery into Richard Wang, and Richard trying to take it towards the top of the key, has it taken away there by Vista, and coming away with it is Jason Barnes. 1.5 minutes left in the first period of play. The Panthers out in front by 1. Dillon goes left corner to Shane Jagger. He'll put it up. He's hot tonight from 3-point range. That's his 4th 3-pointer tonight. Wang taking it across the timeline to Allred. And back in the hands of Richard Wang, the 6-foot senior guard. Allred in the perimeter, back to Wang, inside to Pollard with a fall away. Almost rebounded there by Bryan Batson. Batson coming into tonight's game shooting 88% from the field, has only missed 3 shots on the year. So look to see number 50, Bryan Batson, the 6'5" junior, when he has his hands on the ball, one of the more accurate shooters in the league. And they'll let Peter Bates, the 6'7.5" senior, handle the inbounds throw in here. And the shot from way outside, Craig Brown unable to connect. And Brown against Fallbrook actually hit 13 straight shots, 6 were 2-point shots, and he went 7 for 7 from 3-point range. So Craig Brown, a 6'4" senior, a very, very accurate shooter for the Falcons. Look to see him put it up tonight. So Nils Michaels, the 6-foot senior, will go to the line for the Panthers as Steve Lemery comes back into the lineup, and taking a rest will be John Allred. I think the philosophy there is for John Farrell just to sit down Allred, give him a chance to get a breather so he can go 100% when he's back into the ball game. John Farrell, of course, not expecting John to get in foul trouble here in the early going. So just 49 seconds left in the opening period of play. The Panthers out in front by 4. Nils Michaels making it count for the Panthers. That one finally taken down by Craig Brown. Steve Lemery inside to Brown. Brown pivoting, finally goes cross court to Richard Wang. Wang working it in the top, looks inside to the left corner, and Peter Bates taking a baseline. Brought down there by Kyle Duport, and Dave Dillon working in the backcourt along with Nils Michaels. Goes back out to Shane Jagger. He'll put it up. So that's 5 3-pointers for Shane Jaegers tonight. Coming into this evening's game, the Panthers only needing 12 more 3-point shots to hold a San Diego CIF record. So well under their way to doing just that tonight. Bates with the baseball pass down to Brown, a sweet pass. 9 seconds left in the opening period, 23-17. And that one's stolen away by Peter Bates. Will he have time to put it up? He puts the shot up and can't get it to fall. And that will do it. The opening period of play coming to a close here at Torrey Pines High. The Vista Panthers 23, the Torrey Pines Falcons 17. So the Vista Panthers off to a strong start here this evening, doing what they have to do to stay in a ball game against a team much stronger in height and strength underneath the boards. And also contributing on the 3-point play is Nils Michaels. Nils coming into tonight's game with 14 points and 5 rebounds per game. So one of the integral players here on the offensive end for the Panthers. Edie Montalvo goes back to Bates. Bates looking inside, might take the shot, takes one step up. The jumper from just outside the foul line. Pollard going up for the offensive rebound. He can't get it. Finally brought down by Nils Michaels. Works it up court to Dave Dillon. He works on the right perimeter to Duport, and finally go back to Shane Jaegers. And they're working inside in the paint as Duport goes back outside and taking the shot and blocked there by Scott Pollard. And that one taken back away by Vista. And they'll go back out to Michaels on the left side. So the Panthers hitting their 3-point shots tonight. 6:57. The Falcons call timeout. 29-17. The Panthers out in front. Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. We're back courtside here at Torrey Pines High. The Panthers with a surprising lead here, 29-17. 6:55 left in the half, and the Panthers come away with a steal. And Jason Barnes unable to connect on an attempted 3, brought down by Steve Lemery. They go to Brown on the right side. He'll take a baseline, looks to go inside to Pollard, who goes back out to Bates, and Lemery from the left perimeter, and he gets the shot to fall. 29-19, the Falcons trail by 10. And that ball almost taken away there by Edie Montalvo. They're working on the left perimeter to Jason Barnes. They go cross court in the hands of Nils Michaels. Michaels goes inside the paint, goes back outside, and hustling back is Dave Dillon, resulting in a backcourt violation. So Torrey Pines, with 5 straight Palomar League championships, have averaged 27 victories per year in the last 5 years. They'll work it back and forth in the perimeter, go inside to Pollard, the big guy with the running hook shot. Rebounded there by George Ashley. Dillon up court to Jason Barnes, who goes cross court in the corner. And back out at the top of the key. They're just winging around topside to the left perimeter. And Jason Barnes cans it from the left perimeter. 32-19. The Panthers on fire tonight. Peter Bates back out to Brown. And Edie Montalvo, the point guard, will slow things up and try to set things up offensively for the Falcons. Montalvo, you can see him working it back and forth in the perimeter. He'll periodically look inside to Bates and also Pollard, the big guys. The pass inside from Pollard to Bates on the assist. 32-21. The Falcons very, very effective when they get it into the big guys underneath. Pollard 6'11", Bates 6'7.5" respectively. Barnes works it to the left side to Nils. Michaels goes inside and finally back out in the backcourt, and putting it up from long range was Dave Dillon. Finally brought down by Craig Brown. He'll take it inside, lays it in. 32-23. 4:55 left in the opening half of play here at a packed Torrey Pines High School. Dave Dillon working on the right corner. Goes back outside to George Ashley. Cross court to Barnes. He'll put it up. They follow by Ashley. Ashley in the paint working against the big guys. Finally rebounded there by Peter Bates. They get up court to Brown. He'll take it in the paint. Nice pass inside. And apparently the foul coming against Brown before he could get the ball inside to Scott Pollard. So that, of course, will negate the basket. 4.5 minutes left in the first half of play. 32-23. So Peter Bates coming into tonight's game averaging 14 points per game. Against Poway on Friday had 19.7 rebounds and 4 block shots. So a productive outing for him. He'll go to SMU on a basketball scholarship. Bates looking inside there to Steve Lemery. And Lemery, of course, fouled by Caleb Ashley.
Foul number 24, Shane Jaegers.
Doug Anger, 6'1" backcourt man for the Panthers, into the lineup for Vista. As Steve Lemery connects on the first of 2. Lemery coming into tonight's game averaging 11 points per game. We mentioned earlier how 4 of the players in double figures, and Steve connecting on both. The full court press immediately being administered by the Falcons, and the Panthers having no problem breaking it across, and the shot from the right corner by Nils Michaels. Ashley able to keep it in play for the Panthers, and going baseline and thrown away there nicely by Craig Brown. A great defensive play by the Falcons there. So Craig Brown, the 6'4" senior, can get the job done on both ends of the floor. Brown working on the left corner, looking inside, goes cross court to Lemery, off the glass. So Lemery, the taller of the 2 backcourt players, trying to take advantage of his height.
17 foul.
Vista, of course, with 4 of their starters 6 foot tall, the other starter 5'10". So not one of their starters over 6 foot tall. The height advantage, of course, definitely going to the Falcons. So a credit of the Panthers' play tonight, just staying in this ball game and actually out in front here. 32-25, make that 26 as Lemery connects again on 1 of 2 here. Steve Lemery, a perfect 4 for 4 on the evening. He passed to George Ashley across the timeline. Goes back out to Barnes. He'll take it from 3. Rebound by Scott Pollard. Pollard outside to Lemery. Lemery with some good ball control. Takes it across the timeline. Gets back to Montalvo, who goes inside to Bates. And he'll take it in strong. And that's what Peter Bates has to do all night long. He's 6'7.5". Physically one of the stronger players out on the court tonight, has to take it strong to the hoop in order to get the Falcons back into the ball game tonight. They only trail by 3, 32-29, as the Panthers work it back and forth in the perimeter. Finally go inside in the paint to Barnes. This soft touch off the glass. 34-29, 3:15 left in the opening half of play. So the Falcons gradually coming back here, as they were well behind at the end of the first period of play, making a big comeback here in the second period. And that one, the left-hander by Steve Lemery, just couldn't control it. Caleb Ashley back the other way in the backcourt, being guarded very tightly by Ed Montalvo. George Ashley takes it baseline, and Ashley is fouled by Craig Brown.
Foul number 45, Craig Brown, that's his second.
So Craig Brown with 2 fouls. will send Caleb Ashley to the line shooting 2. Actually make that number 40, George Ashley, who went baseline earlier, was fouled on the play. George coming into tonight's game averaging 5 rebounds per game, sinks the first one. 2:56 left in the half, 35-29. The Panthers out in front. Rebound, Peter Bates. Back to Bates across the time. A nice pass, or attempted pass, inside to Pollard. That one stolen away nicely by Nils Michaels. They'll go back out to Michaels. He'll take a baseline, a fancy move, and that one rejected by Scott Pollard.
Out of bounds, last touch on 45. Vista ball.
So again, the big guys underneath, Pollard and Bates, when the Panthers drive baseline, look to see them reject shots left and right.
Also in the game, number 22, Kyle Duport.
So Kyle Duport will come into the lineup for Vista, and he'll replace George Ashley, the 6-foot senior. Dave Dillon works at topside, and trying to take it inside the paint was Vista, and they get it inside the paint eventually, and that shot falls short by the Panthers, and Scott Pollard takes it up to Brown with the leaner, and the follow there, and Pollard finally falling on the second offensive rebound by Scott Pollard. Finally gets a shot to fall, 35-31, 2:08 left in the half. Doug Enger works it in the backcourt. He's into the lineup for the Panthers, and the Panthers throw it away. And you can see Dave Dillon, the 6-foot senior, trying to talk to his teammates, trying to say, hey, settle down. We're out in front here by 4. We have to keep our composure to maintain the lead, as the Falcons are trying very, very hard to get themselves right back into the ballgame.
2 minutes to go.
Bryan Batson back into the lineup for the Falcons. They go inside to Pollard at the top of the key just to break any type of half-court press by the Panthers, as Edie Montalvo looks inside. You can see Scott Pollard putting his hands up in the air, and they finally get it inside to Pollard. He looks inside to Brown. Brown finally controls in the paint, puts up the 6-footer, and followed by Scott Pollard. 35-33, a 2-point ball game, a minute and a half left in the half, as Barnes working very aggressively just to try to get the ball inbounds for the Panthers, and Barnes will attempt to take it baseline, and the pushing violation will go against Bryan Batson.
Foul number 50, Bryan Batson.
And with both teams over the limit, that will send Jason Barnes to the line. He'll shoot 1 and 1 for the Panthers.
Jason Barnes to the line, shooting 1 and 1.
And Jason, a very integral part of the offense for the Panthers all year long, averaging 18.9 points per game coming into this evening's ball game. And connects on the first of 2. So the Panthers also being followed by Mount Carmel and Poway in this Palomar League play. We'll hope for a victory tonight and get the job done in that play, as Nils Michaels comes up with a steal, lays it in. The Panthers are out in front 39-33, a 6-point lead with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the half, as Edie Montalvo works it across the timeline. And a nice pass there from Lemery inside to Pollard. He's fouled on the play. He'll go to the line shooting 2 shots. And Scott, of course, wishing that he had that one back, felt that he should have drilled that one.
Number 44, Nils Michaels, that's his second. No basket, shooting 2 shots, number 31.
And Scott, again, averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds on the year. Gets the first one to fall, 39-34. The Falcons trail by 5, 1:03 left in the opening half. The Falcons are about to bring Peter Bates back into the lineup. That one basically in and out by Pollard, and that one last touched by Dave Dillon of the Panthers, so that ball will stay in possession of the Falcons. They'll retain possession underneath the basket. And Scott Pollard, the big guy, will take a break for the Falcons. Bates goes back outside to Craig Brown. Brown to Montalvo, who goes inside to Bates with a turnaround. He drills it, 39-36, 54 seconds left in the half.
Fouls on Torrey Pines, number 50.
So a foul coming against Bryan Batson. Of course, not negating the basket as the foul comes after the basket. So Bryan Batson will take a rest, and back into the lineup is Scott Pollard, the 6'11 junior for the Falcons. Jason Barnes will shoot 1 and 1 for the Panthers. Scott Pollard takes it down, gives up to Edie Montalvo, to Craig Brown, and Brown looking back to Montalvo so he can set things up in the backcourt, being guarded tightly by Dave Dillon. Out to Craig Brown, he'll put it up. And a 3-second violation, that one apparently going against Pollard. Staying in the lane a bit too long, 38 seconds left in the half, 39-36, the Panthers by 3. As Dillon looks inside, tries to go back out to Doug Enger. Enger with the ball on the far right side, looks in the corner to Dave Enger, and he'll take it baseline, finally gets it back outside to Nils Michaels, and he hits the shot from three-point range. And the Panthers coming into tonight's game shooting 37% as a team from three-point range. You can't top that on a high school level, 42-36 with 18 seconds left in the half. So Dave Dillon will take a rest for the Panthers, and George Ashley, the 6-foot senior, will come back into the lineup for Vista. Jason Barnes once again going to the line. Steve Lemery hauling down the rebound as it came off short there by Barnes.
Inadvertent whistle, Torrey Pines ball out of bounds.
So an inadvertent whistle there actually by Ken Ringer, one of the officials. The other officials for tonight are Doug Danovic and Rusty Reiner. 10 seconds left in the half, so the Falcons will have an opportunity to get one more shot off before the close of the half. They work it in the corner, and that shot by Lemery falls short, rebounded by Ashley, who puts it up, and that will do it. The first half of play coming to a close here at Torrey Pines High. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. The Vista Panthers out in front 42-36 over the Torrey Pines Falcons. We'll be back in a moment for the exciting second half of play. All right, the second half of play just underway here at Torrey Pines High School. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions courtside, and we'll take a look here momentarily at the scoring summary in the first half as the Vista Panthers take it up court, break the press. Shane Jagger goes baseline off the glass. That's his first non-three-point play. Shane leading all scorers with 15 points in the first half, actually shared by 15 points by Nils Michaels. Shane hitting on 5 consecutive threes. And Scott Pollard starting it off the right way here for the Falcons. The Falcons have got to get the ball down underneath to Bates and Pollard to be effective here in the second half of play. Caleb Ashley working in the backcourt with Shane Jagger. He takes it baseline, blocked by Pollard, and Craig Brown comes away with it. Steve Lemery inside to the big guy with a right-hand fall away. Scott Pollard with 4 points right here in the early going of the second half of play, 44-40. The Falcons only trail by 4 as Ashley takes it baseline, the double pump, 46-40. Ashley scoring 1 point in the first half of play. Jason Barnes for the Panthers with 11 points. He had 2 3-point plays as well. And we'll take a look at the scoring for the Falcons. Leading all scorers was Peter Bates with 12 points. Steve Lemery had 8 points. 4 for 4 from the free throw line as Caleb Ashley comes away with the steal for the Panthers. Back out to Nils Michaels from the top of the key, rebounded by Peter Bates. And he gets it up court to Craig Brown. He controls it, gets his own rebound, goes right back up, and that one taken away by Vista momentarily. And the Falcons will retain possession here on the near side. And let's take a look at the rest of the scoring. Craig Brown had 7 points along with Scott Pollard in the first half of play. And John Allred had 2 points, and that rounds out the scoring in the first half of play for the Falcons. Caleb Ashley working in the backcourt along with Nils Michaels. Almost stolen away there by Ed Montalvo. They go cross court to Nils Michaels. He's looking inside to Barnes. Barnes pivoting. He'll take it in the paint. The fall away left-handed jumper and rebounded there by Peter Bates, getting way up. That one back out in the right corner inside to Pollard. Goes inside to Bates on the attempted assist. And Peter just not expecting that pass to come inside to him. The Falcons turn it over to the Panthers. Caleb Ashley, the 5'10" sophomore, taking it up court. Shane Jagger, Caleb Ashley working along the left side. They go inside to Barnes. And the pushing violation by Steve Lemery will keep the ball in possession of the Panthers underneath the basket. So the scenario in the first half of play, the Vista Panthers shooting an awesome percentage from three-point range, allowing them to have a halftime lead. They were well out in front in the first quarter of play. The Falcons gradually coming back to narrow the lead at the half and will look to get the ball inside to the big guys. No surprise to anyone. That's the strategy of John Farrell and his coaching staff here in the second half. So the turnovers here in the early going of the second half of play having an adverse effect on the Falcons. Caleb Ashley being guarded tightly by Ed Montalvo. Ashley inside to Barnes. He'll pivot, goes back outside to the hottest three-point shooter of the night, Shane Jagger. Rebounded by Ed Montalvo, wheeling and dealing against Caleb Ashley. And the shot from just outside the foul line, followed by Pollard and a slam dunk. Scott Pollard throws it down. 46-42. The Falcons trail by 4, 4:54 left in the third period of play. So Peter Bates unable to get his shot to fall from just outside the foul line, and Pollard in the right place at the right time to throw it down. 46-42 the score. Nils Michaels back out to Ashley. Caleb Ashley, it's the brothers Ashley working in the backcourt. He'll take it all the way in. And that appeared to be Scott Pollard just tapping the hand of George Ashley, resulting in a reaching violation. And of course, that's only his first foul. So Pollard by no means in any type of foul trouble as they go right inside, and the half hook by Ashley. And Barnes and Ashley working on the offensive boards come into contact with Scott Pollard as he went up straight up to get the rebound and was interfered with by the Panthers. Pollard comes out to help out in the press, works it up court to Craig Brown. Brown takes it up to Bates across the time zone, and finally Ed Montalvo will control in the backcourt. Montalvo from three-point range, in and out, rebounded by George Ashley. Caleb Ashley up court, stolen by Bates. Bates goes full court and over the head of Ed Montalvo. But a gallant attempt by Peter Bates as he got that ball on the steal, turned around, pivoted, tried to make the nice pass up court. Just could not throw that one as accurately as he would have liked. So 4:07 left in the third period, 46-42. The Panthers out in front by 4. Nils Michaels in the right corner goes cross court to Shane Jagger. He'll work one-on-one against Montalvo. Jagger with the bounce pass inside to Michaels. Back out to Ash on the right side. He'll take it baseline. The left-handed shot, and he pours it through. 48-42, 3:46 left in the third period. 6-point lead as Pollard comes up to help out on the press, stolen away by Ashley, and Ashley takes a step too many. So George Ashley, who saw Shane Jagger cutting towards the basket, was not able to get the pass off and had to stutter a step, and actually, of course, resulting in a traveling violation. So Bates will take it underneath, inside to Steve Lemery, to Pollard, to Allred into the lineup. John Allred, one of the aggressive players for the Falcons, into the lineup. John can help the Falcons on the board if he can just keep his composure and not continue to be in foul trouble here in the second half of play. Can play an integral role here in the second half for the Torrey Pines ball team.
First, second team foul. Dave Enger back into the lineup.
So Dave Enger, the 6'1" junior, will come into the lineup for Nils Michaels. The Falcons in the right corner. That's Lemery. Gets trapped, gets it back out to Montalvo. Montalvo with a fall-away jumper. (48-44). The Falcons trail by 4. Enger back out to Ashley. Ashley guarded by 2 players, gets into Barnes, and outside from the left perimeter. Jagger shot, of course, going long and into the hands of Scott Pollard. And Bates finally giving way to Ed Montalvo. Montalvo working against Dave Dillon. Back into the hands of Montalvo at the top of the key. Goes inside to Bates with a turnaround. 48-46. The Falcons trail by 2. They're coming back. Dillon and Enger working it in the backcourt along with Shane Jagger at the left perimeter. Barnes in the middle. And posting is George Ashley. Shane Jaegers throws it up. His 6th three-pointer of the night. 51-46. If you give Shane Jagger any room outside on that perimeter, he'll can it through. Has hit about 6 of 7, 6 of 8 unofficially here tonight. And that the no-look pass inside to Allred, taken away by George Ashley. He'll slow things up and get it back to Barnes, who goes back to Enger, and in the hands of Dillon, they'll slow things down and try to set up with a play here offensively. Dave Enger, the 6'1" junior, slows things down for Vista. Goes cross-court to George Ashley. He's outside of the 3. Stutter steps, and that's a traveling violation going against Vista. 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the third period. 51-46. The Panthers out in front by 5. So the Panthers, the last time these two teams played, they actually forced 30 turnovers. So very productive swarming defense of the Panthers, looking to do the same thing tonight. And the shot there by Lemery. A 3-point ball game. 1 minute, 18 seconds left in the third period. George Ashley on the right side, guarded by Pollard. Ashley will take it baseline against Pollard. Finally comes back out, looking for the pass outside. And Pollard, hustling on the defensive end, goes sprawling to the floor to try to come up with the ball for the Falcons, but to no avail, and the Vista Panthers will retain possession here underneath the basket. Jason Barnes, the 6' junior, in your video screen. And so the Panthers just as effective from outside that 3-point line. In the last game, they were 15 of 34. So getting the job done once again from the outside. The team full of 6-footers, that's where they have to get the job done. And that one, nice rebound there by Ed Montalvo, who goes up court, and that one taken away from Steve Lemery by Dave Dillon, and he'll work it up court to Shane Jagger, who goes through his legs, unable to control the ball, guarded there tightly by Craig Brown, who was not going to allow Jagger to go baseline. So a good defensive play there by Craig Brown. 45 seconds left in the third period, 51-48. The Falcons trail by 3. We'll look to see if they can even things up here by the close of the third quarter. And again, the Panthers very, very close to having a record for successful 3-shot attempts to garner the San Diego CIF record. John Elred, the big guy, goes inside, and it may be an offensive foul against John. John doing the right thing, the more physical of the two players, just trying to take it in strong to the hoop. Apparently might have had his left elbow out, and of course he's called for the foul, and that will force John Farrell to sit down John Elred. .36 seconds left in the third period as Dave Dillon takes it across the timeline against Montalvo. Shane Jagers on the left perimeter, working it around the perimeter and finally back into Jagers. Inside to Barnes, who goes cross court to Nils Michaels, and he's working one-on-one against the taller Pollard and does the smart thing, gets it back out topside to Dillon. Dillon, Enger, and Jaegers working it in as Dillon takes it all the way up, and that ball actually coming out of his hands. He was able to regain his composure, keep his balance, put the shot up, puts his team out in front 53-48 as we go into the fourth quarter of play. The Panthers out in front of the Falcons. Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. We're back courtside at Torrey Pines High School. A great turnout tonight. The place is full. 53-48. The Panthers out in front of the Falcons. As they go inside to Barnes, who goes back outside to Shane Jaegers. Nothing but oxygen for Jaegers. 56-48. The Panthers out in front here, 7:42 left in the closing period of play as Ed Montalvo takes it topside, goes inside to Pollard, who looks for Bates inside, off the glass, count it! So that the type of offense that John Farrell will be looking for here in this final period of play. They need to get the ball into the big guys. Peter Bates, remember, on scholarship going to SMU. And Bates connects on the three-point play for the Falcons. His team trails by 5. 7:26 left in the ballgame. Dave Enger along with Dave Dillon working in the backcourt. They work it along the right perimeter and back out to topside. Enger sees an opening in the lane, goes back out to Nils Michaels. He's all open on the right side. Rebound Peter Bates, back out to Ed Montalvo. Montalvo working against Dave Dillon, almost loses the ball. And the crowd looking for a backcourt violation. And that one inside to Peter Bates. 56-53. The Falcons trail by 3. Dave Enger out to Michaels in the corner. Barnes working against Lemery inside the paint. Barnes outside to Shane Jagers, to Dillon at the top of the key. So the Panthers will work the ball back and forth as quickly as they possibly can to try to find an open shot. And Nils Michaels attempts a shot from the outside, rebounded by Craig Brown. Bates finally gives way to Craig Brown. Brown looking inside to Scott Pollard. Finally goes back outside to Ed Montalvo. Montalvo with a nice dish inside. Slam dunk! Scott Pollard. And you can see Scott turn towards the crowd and hold his hand up as if to say, hey, let's get back into this ball game. 6 minutes and 12 seconds left in the closing quarter of play. The Falcons coming back. They trail by 1, 56-55. We'll be back in a moment. So the slam dunk there by Scott Pollard, hoping to put a little momentum on the side of his team. 6 minutes left here in the closing period. The Panthers go inside to Barnes. He'll work against Lemery. And Shane Jagers from deep outside. Rebound, Peter Bates. Steve Lemery up to Bates across the timeline. And Bates will go back to Ed Montalvo, and they'll set their offense up and try to go inside in the paint. You can assure that. But Montalvo takes it from outside, in and out, rebounded by Pollard. Scott Pollard showing why he is, in fact, a preseason All-America. Puts his team out by 1, 57-56. The crowd going wild here at Torrey Pines High. Montalvo almost coming away with a steal there, putting pressure on the guards. Dave Dillon goes cross court to Nils Michaels. He'll put up the three, and he drills it. Scott Pollard just getting the hand on the arm of Nils Michaels as he went up for the shot, so he'll have a potential 4-point play here.
Scott Pollard is second, team's fourth. Michaels at the line.
Nils Michaels has just put the Panthers out in front 59-57. And Michaels calmly sinks it through 60-57. The Panthers by 3 as Pollard is fouled from behind by Nils Michaels. So each respective player taking turns fouling one another. As the Panthers immediately line up in a full court press as to try to put as much pressure on the Falcons as they possibly can. You can see Pollard come up from the front court to help out. Finally goes back to Montalvo. And that's the answer to breaking the press, is bring up either Bates or Pollard from the front court. Pollard inside, or actually Bates inside to Pollard. He's fouled on the play by George Ashley. And Scott Pollard will go to the line shooting 2 shots for Torrey Pines.
Number 40, George Ashley, that's his first, team's fifth. Peter Bates at the line, correction, Scott Pollard at the line, shooting 2.
So Torrey Pines looking to put their overall record at 23-3. Looking for that 6th consecutive 27 victory or more season as Scott Pollard puts it through. And Scott calmly sinks 2 of 2. The Falcons trail by 1, 5:08 left in the ball game. Ashley in the corner to Michaels. Barnes working in the paint. Barnes will take it with the left hand, and the follow-away shot. Count it. So Jason, just a junior, just 6 feet tall, working against the big guys in the middle, did the right thing by doing a fall-away hook shot, if you will, was fouled on the play, and he'll have a potential 3-point play for the Panthers. They're out in front 62-59. This one, just like the last ball game, will go right down to the wire. So Jason Barnes, who comes into tonight averaging 42% from 3-point range, is actually working the paint area tonight and doing a nice job for the Panthers. Barnes connects on the 3, and Ed Montalvo, almost losing control, was fouled there by Dave Dillon. So Montalvo getting a bit of a break as that ball just gets away from him. The reach-in violation going against Dillon. So the 2nd team foul there against Dillon. The 6th team foul. One more, they'll be over the limit. So Craig Brown will take a rest, and Brian Murphy will come back into the lineup. Or actually, John Allred, I'm sorry, number 42, John Allred, back into the lineup. He has the ball at the left perimeter. Allred goes back out to Montalvo and Lemery on the right side. They'll just work it right around the perimeter and sporadically look inside as Bates and Pollard with the ball inside, and he's hacked before he goes up for the shot. That was George Ashley on the defensive end. You could hear the smack from here at the crowd, and that foul apparently coming before the play, but that should be 17 fouls. That should result in a 1-and-1 situation for Pollard, as the Panthers have just went over the limit with 17 fouls. 63-59 the score. Pollard can put the Falcons within 2 here. And Scott, just a junior, but you have to appreciate his composure at the line with just 4.5 minutes left in the ball game. Pollard, a clutch player for the Falcons. Connects on both. 63-61, turning out to be a high school classic. As Dave Dillon in the backcourt, he's fouled by Ed Montalvo. So Montalvo with the blocking violation, that's his 3rd foul. The 6th team foul for the Falcons. One more and we'll both be over the limit, as Nils Michaels, the perimeter shooter, takes it inside to Dave Dillon. Dillon back out to Michaels. He'll turn around, put the shot up, and that one appeared to come off the rim and actually fell right back in. 66-61, 4:15 left in the ball game as Bates takes it across the timeline. Steve Lemery back to Montalvo. Allred, all working at the perimeter. Montalvo goes back to John Allred inside to Bates. Bates looking inside to Pollard, and Bates is fouled. The reach-in violation going against Dave Dillon. So that will send Peter Bates to the foul line.
Peter Bates shooting a 1-and-1.
So Bates can close the gap within 3 here. Nils Michaels coming away with it. And a whistle is called, and it appears to be an official timeout with a little moisture on the floor. They'll dry it away and resume play here. Again, a great turnout here at Torrey Pines High School. The fans enjoying a very productive year from the Falcons. Dillon takes it across the timeline against Montalvo. Dillon looking outside to George Ashley, goes inside to Barnes. Barnes crosses it in the left corner to Shane Jagers. Jagers inside to Barnes and back out to Dillon from the top of the key, and rebounded by John Allred. Allred inside to Steve Lemery, back to Allred on the left perimeter. Take it topside to Montalvo, who goes inside to Pollard, and that one taken away by the Panthers as George Ashley comes away with it. Gives back to Dave Dillon, and he'll cross the timeline. 3:17 left in the ball game. Cross court to Michaels. Shane Jaegers. Rebound John Allred. So John getting the job done in the boards here in the closing few minutes of play for the Falcons. An integral player underneath the boards for the Falcons. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left in the ball game. The Vista Panthers 66, the Torrey Pines Falcons 61. Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. We're back courtside. 3:03 left in the ball game. Montalvo controlling in the backcourt. Takes it across the timeline against Dillon. Goes out to Lemery. Lemery topside, works it back in the right corner to Montalvo, who takes the shot. The nice rebound there by Pollard. The ball gets away from him. They're all scrambling for it. A pileup right here at the left side of the paint. And a jump ball is called. And on the jump ball rotation, it will be interesting to see who actually will have the possession here. The arrow appears to be going towards the Falcons. So the Falcons will retain possession underneath the basket. John Allred. And John, what an athlete for the Falcons. We mentioned earlier how he's going to USC on a football scholarship, trying to help his team to a victory here in the closing moments of play. Edie Montalvo, he goes baseline against Dillon, inside to Pollard, and back out to Craig Brown from three-point range. Lemery on the offensive end, inside, the nice pass and a slam dunk! 2.5 minutes left in the ball game. Scott Pollard with his third, possibly his fourth slam dunk of the ball game, 66-63. The Panthers out by 3. George Ashley in the right corner, back out to Dillon, to Ashley in the corner once again. They'll just work it back and forth, and finally go in the left perimeter to Michaels and back to Dillon, being guarded by Craig Brown. Dillon looking inside. Jagers breaking across the middle. Ashley can't find him. Dillon back in the backcourt, inside to Barnes, in the corner to Ashley. He'll take it baseline, and the charging violation against the Panthers. So you have to credit the front court of the Falcons, or the Falcons actually doing a nice job there. Pollard goes up for the block from behind, does not come into contact of the body of Ashley, and the Falcons draw a charging violation. They'll have possession with 2 minutes left in the ball game. They trail by 3 as Lemery gets inside to Craig Brown. Brown to Pollard, back out to Lemery, inside to Bates. Bates will slow it down at the left perimeter and get it back topside to Edie Montalvo. Montalvo with a nice pass inside to Bates, off the glass! 66-65, 1:41 left in the ball game. Dave Dillon and Nils Michaels working it up court. The hustling Craig Brown on the defense. They're trapping Lemery and Brown against Dillon. In the corner to Dave Enger, who goes cross court to Nils Michaels. Barnes back to Michaels. Michaels working against Montalvo, and Barnes, he's open in the paint, gives way to Shan Jaegers from the corner. His shot falls short, rebounded by Barnes, and gets it back out to Dillon. So a nice job on the offensive boards there by the Vista Panthers, as Barnes is almost fouled there by Craig Brown, but Brown doing a great job, showing good athletic ability to avoid that foul. Brown trapping again Nils Michaels on the far corner. He'll try to go baseline against Bates. Bates cuts him off nicely, and they get it back out to Shan Jaegers. And Jaegers will go to the line, shooting 1-and-1 as Steve Lemery with a reach-in violation.
Foul number 25, Steve Lemery's second. 17 foul.
66-65. A timeout is called with 43 seconds left in the ball game.
Good game.
Oh, man.
At the line to 1-1.
So Shan Jaegers coming into tonight with a 19 points per game average. That one falls short, rebounded by Craig Brown. Edie Montalvo will take it across the timeline for the Falcons. Vista showing good pressure on the defensive end. Craig Brown on the right side. Back to Montalvo, who'll take it up from 3, and he bangs it home! The Falcons out in front, 68-66. They've got a 2-point lead with just 20 seconds left in the ball game. Dillon in the right corner, and Dave Enger being trapped in the corner. Will he get away? And finally tries to go inside. And a timeout is called by the Vista Panthers with just 11 seconds left in the ball game. The Falcons 68, the Panthers 66. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. We'll be back in a moment. So Edie Montalvo, the 5'10" sophomore, coming away with what might appear to be the biggest shot of the night as the Vista Panthers throw it away. The Falcons will have possession here on the near side, and they'll just kill the clock with just 11 seconds left in the ball game. Expect to see the Panthers foul immediately to try to send the Falcons to the line for a possible attempt for the Panthers to get the ball back. 68-66, the Falcons out in front by 2. Peter Bates will handle the throw-in as everyone breaks off the ball. Lemery attempts to get inside to Craig Brown, and he's fouled immediately, to no one's surprise, by Shane Jagger with just 10 seconds left in the ball game. So Steve Lemery can put the icing on the cake here with just 10 seconds left in the ball game. If he can connect on 2, the Falcons will be out in front by 4, and the Panthers will actually need more than a 3-point play to get back into the ball game. So crucial foul shots coming up for Steve Lemery. In the first half, he was 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Let's see if he can be as effective here in the clutch. And Lemery gets the job done. And a timeout is called with just 10 seconds left in the ball game. This one turning out to be a high school classic in Palomar League play. The Torrey Pines Falcons 69, the Vista Panthers 66. So the second of 2 coming up here for Steve Lemery, who can virtually seal a victory right here if he makes good on the second attempt. And the crowd will let you know. Ten seconds left in the ball game. The Falcons 70-66. They're out by 4 as Barnes forces the shot up, and Jaegers puts his shot up. He can't get his to fall. John Allred with the rebound, and that will do it. That's the ball game. The Torrey Pines Falcons come out of nowhere, come from behind to garner a victory over the Vista Panthers and what turned out to be a most exciting matchup here in the Palomar League play. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. We'll be back in a moment for the postgame show.
Everybody having a nice day for the Panthers from Vista High School on a day to have that game this evening.
All right, we are back for the post-game show. Torrey Pines comes away with a dramatic come-from-behind victory over the Vista Panthers. I tell you what, a classic game. We're going to find out about the players that made it possible. We'll start here with the big guy, Scott Pollard. Scott, you trailed at the half. What did the coach say to you guys to give you a little momentum coming into the second half of play, which you guys played your hearts out in the second half?
Coach just told us that we weren't executing very well at all at the beginning of the game, and we weren't playing basketball the way we know how to play. And we just went out there and busted our tails and tried to execute a little bit better and play better defense and try to pressure that three-point shot a lot more.
You had a couple consecutive slam dunks. After you dunk, you turn to the crowd and throw your hands up in the air as if to say, hey, get behind us. Was that your strategy there?
Yeah, I really love the crowd. They really get in there and they support me a lot, and all my friends up there, and they're always counting on me to point to them after I dunk it, and so I just like to get the crowd into the game a lot. It helps a lot.
Okay, pleasure watching you play. Good luck, Scott, the rest of the way in postseason. Take care. All right, joining us now is Steve Lemery, one of the integral part players for the Falcons here. Talk to me, when you guys were behind in the last few minutes of play, were you getting a little bit nervous? Did you think you guys could come back, redeem yourselves?
But we knew we had to keep our poise, and that's something we've done all season. And we played Vista earlier in the season. We did the same thing. We just play hard, stay within our abilities, and as long as we stick to tough defense, we know we'll get back in the game. As long as we got a chance to win, that's all we can ask for.
In the first half of play, you were 4 for 4 from the line. I think it kind of relaxed you going into those last free throws. You hit them in the clutch. Were you nervous going to the line at the end there?
A little bit, but I was pretty comfortable, actually. Right. After I hit my first one, I was pretty sure the second one was going in. So.
Talk to me about a favorite part of the whole ball game for you individually tonight.
See, I got a rebound out in the corner here, and I took a dribble and I pump faked, and I saw Scott underneath the basket, and they all cleared out, and I passed it to Scott, and he went up and he dunked it. And I think that pretty much turned the game to our favor, and from there on we took it out. So.
Well, you guys were fun to watch. Great game, Steve. Take care. All right. All right, joining us now is the young, talented sophomore point guard, Edie Montalvo. Ed, hit the biggest shot of the night. What was going through your mind when you put that shot up from three-point range on the outside? Did you feel it was going to go?
I got the ball. There was no one near me, so I just took the shot. I was praying to go in.
Being as young as you are, you've got a couple more years to play, and I'm sure Coach John Farrell's real happy about that. But being just a sophomore, were you getting a little bit nervous at the end of the game when you guys knew you had to pull it out at the end?
Yeah, I was kind of nervous because we were down 5 at the fourth quarter, so we just played hard. And
let me ask you this. What did the coach actually say to you guys coming into the second half of play? Because you guys were trailing and pretty much virtually throughout the whole game, but then you came back tough at the end of the game. But did he have any type of strategy for you as the point guard to try to get the ball inside?
Yeah, we have this play, guard and post, so we used that the whole game, and it worked. So he just told us again to play hard and just hustle for the ball and hustle for loose balls. And
how does it feel being the Palomar League champs?
Feels great.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Great game, Ed. All right, joining us now is Bryan Batson, another integral player here for the Falcons. Talk to me. I understand coming into tonight's game, you're shooting 88% from the floor. I've only missed like 3 or 4 shots all year long. Is that something that you set your pride in?
Yeah, it surprised me from the start that I was shooting that well, and I found out, and it's just carried on throughout the season. It's been great.
Talk to me in tonight's game. Is there a point or a part in tonight's game that you thought was most exciting in this come-from-behind victory?
I think Scott Pollard really rallied us with those consecutive dunks, and we just started rolling, and then Eddie popped that 3, and that blew it away. It was great.
Okay. Think back on the whole season. Let's talk about you individually. You guys have had a great season. You're undefeated in the Palomar League. Talk to me about maybe a favorite game on the year for you personally.
Had to probably be the Poway games. They're probably the 2. They were, I had a good game, and the entire team just started really getting pumped up, and those carried on to help us out through the entire season. And in the first Vista game, that was exciting.
Okay. All right. Yeah, both Vista games turned out to be real classic. You guys have real team chemistry, and you showed it by coming back. How's it feel being the Palomar League champs?
Feels great. We were last year, and then another year. It just carries on the tradition. It's great.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy. Bye-bye. All right, we're getting a chance to talk with all the players that made the victory here for the Falcons. A successful one, come from behind a dramatic victory. Let me ask you this: were you getting a little bit nervous at the end of the game, Peter, when they were actually out in front?
We knew we had to start hustling, but we never, at any point during the game, thought we couldn't win. We knew that no matter how far we were down, we could always come back.
What did the coach have you set at as far as a role player in that second half? Because you guys came back in the third quarter, gradually came back in the fourth quarter, you gradually came back even more. What was your role in that third and fourth quarter play to get your team back into the ballgame?
He wanted Scott and I to play a high-low game. So if you're on ball side, flash ball and dump it into the other guy. And Scott gave me a couple buckets on that, had a couple good passes. And on defense, just get in their face and box out. And then on the throwing the ball in bounds, just make sure you get a good pass in and get up the court and look for a layup.
Okay. It was a great game for you guys. Talk to me about you individually, the best play on the night for you individually.
Best play of the night individually? I say it's probably, we were down by 4 or 5 at the time, and Ed hit me with a pass in the lane, and I got a layup off that, and they cut the lead to 2. And then right after that, we got the ball back when the guy missed a free throw, and then Ed got the 3 to put us up.
Okay. All right, you're on your way to postseason play here shortly. I understand you're also on your way to play college ball on scholarship. You have to feel great about that. How did that come about?
I played some good ball over the summer, LVI and Superstar Camp in Santa Barbara, and went down to visit Texas, liked it, so I decided to sign.
Okay. All right. We'll be following you, and good luck to you, and great game. Take care, Pete. All right, joining us now is Craig Brown. We're going to talk about this dramatic comeback in a minute. But first of all, let's talk about a game that you had this year where I understand you were 13 for 13 from the floor. You were 6 for 6 at 2-point shots, 7 for 7 from 3-point range. I mean, everything you shot up turned to gold. What happened that night with you?
Right before the game, we came out, we were shooting, I was really feeling it, and our whole intention was to get it inside, and that's all our game plan. But I got out there and I started stroking it, once I'm hitting, coach never tells me to stop shooting once I shoot. So I just kept shooting it, and I didn't miss, and he never took me out, so I kept shooting, and they were falling in.
Did you realize at the end of the game that you had actually not missed a shot? Because sometimes you get caught up in the action of the game. But did you realize it?
I realized it. I think it was at the beginning of the the beginning of the fourth quarter, the end of the third quarter. I came on the bench, and the coach was like, I sat down next to him and our assistant coach, and he's like, no, I don't think you missed, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't. So I went back on, the fourth quarter, knowing that I did. But once I got out there and started running up and down the court, I didn't think about it until after the game. I took a couple more shots in the fourth quarter. And then, I shot a couple more and made them. They fell, and I went to the locker room. And then, the reporters came in and told me, and then it hit me again.
Okay. Well, I got to give you a lot of credit for keeping your composure while all your teammates here are trying to make you lose your composure. Yeah. But let me ask you this. You went up against a team that their perimeter shooters were awesome. They were hitting everything from the outside, the three-point range. I mean, what were you trying to do individually to guard these guys to shut them down from three-point range in the second half?
Well, the second half, they were just hitting. They were shooting the lights out. It was incredible. So all I knew I could do was get my hand in their face, And they were hitting mostly from the other side. And I came to the bench, and I was just like, let me switch sides because I want to get in their face. But I said, no, stay on your side, and it worked out for the best. And I just tried to get good position and not foul them, just get my hands up in their face, and it all worked out. And they didn't hit as many, I don't think, in the second half from my side of the floor.
How's it feel being the Palomar League champs?
Great. couldn't feel better.
Okay, all right. Fun to watch, Craig. Take care of yourself. All right. All right, joining us now is John Allred, right?
That's right.
Okay. One of the multi-talented players. I understand that you're going to USC on a football scholarship, so you play more than one sport for the school. Talk to me about this. In the first half of play, you got in a little bit of foul trouble. Did that disappoint you that maybe you couldn't play a better part in the victory for the team in the first half of play?
Yeah, it did, but I feel I got 2 cheap fouls. I felt my job was just to cheer on the bench and get everyone fired up. I just took it upon getting people fired up and trying to get people going after loose balls and stuff. So I was disappointed, but had to do what I could do.
But overall, you came through in the clutch because in the last period of play, you actually came down with some of the rebounds that were in the clutch that your team needed at the end of the game. So you have to feel good about that. But talk to me about you individually, John, on this game. Is there a part in the game that stands out in your mind being the most rewarding for you?
I thought it was great when Eddie hit that three-pointer. When he shot, I was going, Ed, we don't need a three-pointer, but he hit it. I was going crazy saying, I love you, Eddie, and all this, but
it was the biggest shot of the night.
Yeah, I was real excited for Eddie, being a sophomore and all, so it's a good time.
Talk to me. You guys had a great season. You won the Palomar League. So there's always a game, John, that sticks out in your mind where you go home and say, hey, Mom, Dad, this was the best game of the year for me. What game was that on the whole year? Talk to me about your best game individually.
Individually, my best game?
Yeah.
I don't know, I played well against San Diego, both San Diego games, but, this year hasn't really been a good year for me. Last year I played a lot better, but I've just tried to come out, with Pollard and Bates. I've just been trying to work with them in practice, give them a real physical player, and just been out hustling around. I don't know, I've just been road rag, I guess.
All right. Well, talk to me now. How did it come about, the scholarship going to USC to play football? How did that surmount for you during the season? At what point, at what junction in the season did you know it was going to happen?
I signed, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And before that, I was real, I wasn't able to concentrate on basketball too much. And I had some things in my mind where I couldn't really concentrate on basketball. But now that it's all done with, I'm just looking at basketball and real excited for what we got coming ahead of us, CIF and all.
So you want to just take it one step at a time. Football is later when you get back into college. You'll concentrate on that. But for now, it's postseason play. And, hey, you guys are fun to watch. Great game. You take care of yourself, John. All right. All right, joining us now is Coach John Farrell for the Falcons. First of all, I have to ask you this. I was asking a couple of the teammates what was going on through their mind at halftime when they knew they had to come back. But talk to me as a coach. What did you share with the players at the half to let them know that, hey, they need to get back into the ball game to win as they did?
Well, we wanted to stay with our system and let the chips fall that way. Vista was very hot, and we felt that if we could have played better defense, get a hand in the face that sooner or later they start missing, and hopefully we'd be able to convert. We were just real fortunate at the end of the game they missed and we hit. It could have gone either way.
Did it surprise you to see Ed put up that three-pointer and hit it like that? Must have made you feel great.
Well, Eddie's done that before for us. He's a swell kid, and he could be a high point man on a lot of teams, but he's doing what we need to do to win. He's distributing the ball. We shoot 57% as a team throughout the year, and I'd say a lot of it's because Eddie gets the ball to people at the right time.
Who do you see, Coach, as formidable opponents for postseason play?
Well, we just got out of the toughest league in San Diego, and I'm glad I don't have to see any of those Palomar teams anymore. But right now, the top 4 teams ranked in the city are Torrey Pines, Monte Vista, Kearney, and Carlsbad, and they're all Division II, which is our division. You also have El Camino, Helix, and Serra, who are very formidable opponents also.
How does it feel as a coach having such a talented group of players? Is that a great feeling for you?
Well, you know, you don't win unless you have talent, and the kids, my job is to get them to do things that they normally don't like to do and play as a group. So they played hard, they play as a group. You know, the chips fell our way, but we earned it. I will say this, winning 5 straight Palomar League titles is a lot to be thankful for. And, you know, we've had 6 20-win seasons, so we've had success here. And I think that helps in the clutch times. Our kids think they're going to win.
Exactly. We mentioned during the broadcast how productive your seasons have been in the past, and that's a credit to yourself too, John, and good luck the rest of the way. Okay? Take care of yourself. All right. All right, that closes things out here at Torrey Pines High School. You heard it from the players. You heard it from Coach Farrell. Turned out to be a great regular season for the Falcons. It's not over yet. Far from over. They feel they can go all the way. We enjoy bringing you the broadcast. It turned out to be a dramatic comeback for the Falcons. This has been a George Langevin production presentation. I'm Mike Benson. Take care.